Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Todd Bowen from sittingposture.com. Welcome to today's video, Computer Posture Mistakes and Fixes. This is episode 13. I want to thank you guys for joining me. I do value your time, and I promise I will make it as worthwhile as possible. Computer posture can be a very painful and boring topic. I try to create content that is free of cost, open-minded, relatable, and easily actionable. Quick note, the info in this presentation is not medical advice. It's based off my experience and my opinions. I talk about good habits that have helped me live a higher quality sedentary lifestyle. Do your research, make good decisions, and be the best possible advocate you can be for your own health care. The specific goals of my channel are to help the user decrease pain caused by sitting at a computer. That's always going to be my number one goal. Increase energy, improve mental clarity, and increase work productivity, all through subtopics related to posture. A quick note about me, my name is Todd Bowen. I've got an information technology degree, so I've taken classes such as workstation ergonomics and user experience, lifelong athlete and exerciser, and I've lived a sedentary lifestyle for the last 20 plus years. Here's a quick look at my website, sittingposture.com. If you want to go sign up for my email newsletter, you can do that here. I only send out one email a week. I don't spam, usually on Fridays, and what I do is I put the link to the article that I wrote for my website that week in that email, as well as the 2 links to the YouTube videos that I posted on my YouTube channel that week. I post videos on Wednesday and Sunday, but that email comes out on Fridays. If you want to sign up for that, enter your email address here at sittingposture.com and click Get Updates. One last note, I'm not compensated by any product sellers or manufacturers, so there's no paid promotion in this video. If I'm talking about a keyboard or a desk or a chair or something like that, there's no paid promotion in this video. Here, let's get into it. Computer posture, mistakes and fixes, episode 13. First user here, definitely experiencing some back pain. Normally I would think this back pain is from her looking down at her monitor, but she's got a decent sized monitor here. I don't like how it's angled backwards like that. I think it should be straight up and down. If she's really sitting back in her chair, she should be able to see it better when it's straight up and down and perpendicular to the floor and the desk. Speaking of sitting back in her chair, it looks like that's going to be kind of rough with this back support here. Chairs are tough to find a good one. I don't have one chair that I recommend for everybody, but it's got to have some kind of decent back support to take advantage of, and this one just doesn't look like it's going to provide enough. That's if she even does sit all the way back into the chair. I do really like how she's got the flat keyboard here, and you can tell this is a model on a royalty-free photo because there's no mouse. But I do like the flat keyboard here. I don't like the big plastic bulky keyboards where you have to lift your hands. You have to engage your wrist to lift your hands and fingers onto the keys. That's not a good thing. So I do like the slim, low-profile keyboard. It's flat. I don't like how it's angled though, because that's always going to cause some kind of muscle imbalance. Something on the right side of the body is going to extend in order to reach farther. Something on the left side of the body is going to shorten. And those muscles are going to get stuck there because she doesn't have as far to reach on the left side of her body. Next picture. Here we go. This is what I was talking about in the beginning of the last picture. This user is looking straight down or at a 45-degree angle to see the top of his screen. We want to look down at a 45-degree angle to see the bottom of our screen at the most. This guy has to look straight down to see the monitor on his laptop. So he would benefit greatly from extended monitor, especially if this is his home office. I understand if we travel, you know, we need the ability to work remotely sometimes in a coffee shop or a satellite office or whatnot. But if this is his home office where he works 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, he would definitely benefit from having an extended monitor here. And you can just get an inexpensive HDMI cable from Best Buy, Amazon, anywhere. Plug it into the laptop and then plug it into the computer and to the monitor, and then plug that monitor into the wall. And there's no software to download or anything like that. I have a picture of an extended monitor here on one of the next couple slides. One other thing I want to notice, look at this user and how his elbow is below the desk level. I don't like that. I used to make this poor posture mistake. It caused me to contract my biceps and keep them contracted just a little bit all day long, which caused a lot of repetitive strain and overuse injuries in my bicep, which led to tendon inflammation in my shoulder, a little bit in my elbow, but a lot in my shoulder, because this bicep is connected to the shoulder bone through two tendons, and I had a lot of issues there because my elbow was below the desk level. So I would definitely raise this chair up a little bit. If I was him, I would get an extended monitor plugged in by an HDMI cable, and I would also get an extended keyboard and extended wireless keyboard, external I should say, external keyboard and external mouse. Here's another user. She's sitting at an angle. We talked about that in the first photo. Definitely going to cause some tension on the left side of her body because that's the closer part to the edge of the table, and some overextension on the right side of her body in order to reach forward. She doesn't have an external mouse, which is going to cause some issues in her upper back or somewhere maybe around her scapula. This is just guesses on her part. This is exactly what happened in my experience. I had a lot of pain in my scapula on my upper back from reaching over to the middle of this laptop to use the mouse pad all day. It may not seem like a big deal, but when you do it, you know, hundreds of times over a weekly period, thousands of times over a monthly period, it all adds up, and it'll find one muscle to overextend in your back just from that slight movement. So I would definitely get an external mouse, an external keyboard, and I would definitely straighten those up, not angled on this desk like she has that. And then I would also get an external monitor here plugged in by an HDMI cable. Same thing here. This is a better example of how it's turned on her desk, about what not to do when keeping a laptop turned on the desk. It should always be flat and parallel to the desk, so it won't cause a muscle imbalance on each side. She does have the external mouse. It's a slim, low-profile mouse, which I really like. That's really cool. That causes her not to engage her wrist muscles in order to keep her hand on top of that mouse all day. It's more of a natural resting her hand flat on that mouse. She doesn't have an external keyboard, which would be nice, and also obviously an extended monitor plugged in by an HDMI cable. Here we go. Here's an example of an extended monitor. She's using her laptop, but it's plugged into a monitor and extended over there. Instead of her looking down all the way over here to see her laptop, she's looking down at a 45-degree angle to see the bottom of her screen, and the top of her screen is eye level. So I'm a big fan of this. She's got the flat keyboard. You can barely see it right there, but I'm used to using one, so I can point it out from a mile away. But she's got that flat, slim, low-profile keyboard. She's got a slim, low-profile extended external mouse, which is really good. I noticed she could probably raise her chair up just a little bit because it looks like she's leaning forward in order to rest her elbows on the desk. If she raised her chair up a little bit, that would probably take a little bit of that lean out. Not terrible posture, but she does have a little bit of a forward lean going on, which could cause a little bit of forward head posture. So I'd probably raise this chair up just a little bit if it was me, so that those elbows don't need to flare out a little bit away from her body. You can tell how they're kind of a little bit away from her body. All right, this is a good example of what she looked like in the previous picture. Not the worst posture in the world, however, not taking advantage of the back support is the first thing I'd mention. Obviously, she's got some forward slouching going on, which is also known as kyphosis in the upper back, inflammation there. When that natural thoracic curve is taken out, and it's overextended a little bit, or maybe even compressed. Depends on how you look at it. The front of the spine is compressed. The back of the spine is overextended. It's probably the best way to describe it. The elbows are in a decent spot above the keyboards and the mouse. One other thing I want to mention is monitor is extended monitor, which is good. It's actually a little bit high. The eye level should be at the top of the monitor screen. So I think this is a little bit high. This might cause him to arch his neck back and compress the back of his neck muscles and overextend the front of his neck muscles. So you've got overextension going on here to slouch forward, And then you've got compression in the next region of the spine in the back of the neck. And you've got the opposite going on down here, compression in this region of the spine, and then overextension here. So it's a lot of muscle confusion going on, a lot of imbalances there. So I would definitely lower this monitor just a little bit. And the last thing I want to mention, his feet are not flat on the floor. I used to sit with both feet like this, heels up in the air, toes resting on the ground. Might not look like a big deal, but in order to do that, you've got to contract your hamstrings and again, and keep those contracted all day long. Could cause a lot of repetitive strain and overuse injuries, and also a lot of dysfunction in the joints, the knee and the ankle, just from simply contracting that hamstring to pull those feet underneath the body and underneath the chair. This is speaking from experience. I made that mistake for many years before I took full accountability for my posture. So I like how this foot is flat on the floor. Both of them flat on the floor would be a lot better. Like this picture here, he's got both feet flat on the floor. You can see he's taking advantage of the back support. Also the natural curvature in the spine. Not leaning forward. That head is not forward head posture like in the previous picture. Obviously, we can't work in this position all day long because it's not, sitting isn't the enemy that we're up against here that's causing all this pain. It's working in the same position for multiple hours a day, multiple days a week. That's where we get in trouble. So obviously sitting would be good, standing would be good, maybe working in a reclined position, as long as it's not putting too much pressure on our necks to look at if we're working off a laptop. I talk about those in some of my other videos. I don't have any reclined position postures that I like in my slide presentation today. But anyway, this is a good position to work in for a certain amount of time, not an extended amount of time, because no position is a good position to work in for an extended amount of time. We want to change our position multiple times throughout the day in order to avoid overuse injuries and repetitive strain injuries. One more, here's a good photo of using an extended monitor. Again, it's a little bit high. Top of the monitor screen should be eye level, so right about there. Elbows are good above the keyboard and the mouse setup. And finally, feet flat on the floor. Those are the three variables that I look at the most in an ergonomic setup. Is the top of the monitor screen eye level? Are the elbows slightly above the desk, able to reach the keyboard and mouse comfortably? And number three, are the feet flat on the floor or a footrest? So that's it for today's episode, Computer Posture Mistakes and Fixes, episode 13. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You're taking a big step forward in improving your posture and quality of life, and that is definitely something to be proud of. Like I mentioned at the beginning of my video, sign up for free email updates if you'd like. I send out one email a week on Fridays, and that will include the link to the free article that I post on my website every week, as well as the 2 links to the YouTube videos that I post on my YouTube channel each week. I post YouTube videos on Wednesday and Sunday, and that email comes out on Fridays. So go to sittingposture.com/newsletter if you want to sign up for that. Download a free computer posture checklist. I only talked about the 3 variables of an ergonomic setup today, maybe give or take 1 or 2. Maybe I talked about more than 3, but this computer posture checklist talks about 14 variables, 14 easy steps to take to improve your posture when sitting at a computer. I haven't done one for standing yet. I'll do a checklist for that eventually. But this one is just when it comes to sitting. Sittingposture.com/checklist. That's a free download. It's a PDF. You can print it out and post it at your computer as a daily reminder on how to stay consistent with good posture. And last but not least, subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/@sittingposture in your browser. Like I said, videos on Wednesday and Sunday. All of my content is free, and it always will be. The more people that see my videos, the more ability I have to make more content. So if you did find this video helpful, please hit the like button. That would help me out a ton. I appreciate all the likes and the views so far. Feel free to forward this video to a friend or family member who sits at a computer full-time. Thanks. I appreciate you guys. That's it for today's video. Todd Bowen from sittingposture.com. Computer Posture Mistakes and Fixes, episode 13. Take care. We'll see you guys on the next video.